everyone. I have my first video using my How to Kill a Kit with style for May with you today, and I'm going to be documenting a heritage photo. So this layout started with that floral pattern paper that you can see right there, that's 6x8. And I took all the colors from that flower and went through my kit and pulled out all the little bits and bobs and things that I thought that I might like to use. I am going to be incorporating some hexagons into my layout today to go along with the Rediscover Your Stash Facebook group product focus for May, which is hexagons. And I'm just pointing out some of the things I think that I want to use on my layout. I am going to be fussy cutting a lot, and I'm going to be using a lot of hexagons and my trusty hexagon punch. So I'm going to get started with my photo. I know that I want to create kind of like a band across the middle of my page, and this beautiful yellow gingham paper has this really fun like stitching detail on it, and I really wanted to go ahead and use that paper and use the part that has the stitching detail. And then I'm also going to take a little bit of the back of that paper and use it to map my photo. I'm also going to be doing a lot of inking and a lot of distressing on this page. So I inked all the edges with Vintage Photo Distress Oxide ink, and now I'm going to go ahead and rough up the edges with an old tool from Making Memories. It's a distressing tool. You can find distressing tools fairly easily right now. Today, I know Tim Holtz makes a really nice one too. So, and this is how I'm going to get my layout started with my photo and this gingham. And now I'm going to do some tearing. So I'm going to kind of go ahead and take a piece at the top and a piece at the bottom. I'm going to tear away little peekaboo areas. I'm going to staple them, and we're going to use them as a place to have hexagons just flying out of those two parts of our layout. So if you watched my video this morning, this layout is actually, I finished it last week before my mojo took a hit and flew the coop. But you will still have videos this week because my good friend Christy said to me, just do sketches. And I'm like, oh, that's a really good idea. So this is going to be sketch week on my channel until my creativity decides to come back, because I didn't want to leave you guys hanging with no content. So we're just going to do sketches this week. Now I'm going to punch a ton of hexagons, tons and tons and tons and tons of hexagons. A lot of people have been asking me about my hexagon punch. So my hexagon punch is from Creative Memories, and it's crazy old, you guys, like crazy old, probably more than 10 or 15 years old. So I know that like there's no way you're going to be able to find it unless maybe you eBay it. And what's funny is that when I bought it, I was like, I don't know if I really need a hexagon punch. Man, I'm so glad I bought it. So I went ahead, and you saw me with my scissors, and I fussy cut a bunch of butterflies. And I also fussy cut all of the flowers, that entire 6x8 sheet of paper. And now I have my journaling. So I printed my journaling out using just my computer. I thought about typing it up, but it just worked. I had my laptop out, so I just printed it out. I cut my journaling into strips and inked them all using that Vintage Photo Distress Oxide ink. And now I'm going to choose placements for all of these beautiful flowers. So I cut them all out, even the ones on the edges. And so I'm kind of looking for those ones on the edges first so that I can butt them up against parts of my layout so that they don't get wasted, and kind of hide those straight edges that were the end of the paper. So yeah, that's what we're going to do this week. We're just going to do all sketches this week. Until my creativity comes back and says hi. I'm still struggling with it a little bit, but I'm excited because I can still create content for you. We're just going to be sketch savvy this week. So here are my flowers. Oh, as an aside, this layout, I super duper love it. I love this layout to the moon and back. It turned out so pretty. I am so proud of myself, and I love this layout. Granted, this is the last layout I did before I didn't have any more creativity, so maybe I just used it all on this particular project. But I do love, love, love how it turns out. So now that I have all of my flowers placed and glued down, I know that I'm gonna want to pop this one up, and then I'm gonna leave a gap. So my plan is to put this one on foam dots and then put it off to the left. And now I'm going to very ever so carefully pull this in. Oh, okay, let's talk about videos. So this one, I like this speed. I'm able to talk to you guys a little bit easier without feeling rushed. So we're gonna keep the videos at this speed, I think. But what do you think? Do you think I should try to zoom in a little bit more? Let me know in the comments what you think. If you think I should go ahead and kind of pull my video in a little bit, or if this is good and you like it like this. So I have left a gap. You can see I've left that gap there between the two clusters of flowers, and that gap is there because I'm going to put all of my journaling strips into that area. I ended up having to shorten a few to kind of make it work within where I wanted it, but for the most part it fit in there really well. And I was able to kind of just leave the strips. Now some of my strips are thin, some are thick, they're different sizes. I'm not really good at like making everything the perfect size, but that's okay. You can also see where I left a little bit of a gap in my journaling strips right there. I did that purposefully so I would have somewhere to tuck some of these super cute butterflies. So when I fussy cut that butterfly paper, I stuck to just fussy cutting the colors that were in my layout. So I stuck to the pinks and the yellows and that dark green. Again, because all the colors and all the products started with that 6x8 sheet of floral paper. And I really like that idea, and I think for the rest of my projects during May, I'm going to go ahead and do that. Pick a floral from my kit that I want to kind of make the star of the show, and then go ahead and do the rest of them. Do the rest of the project with the flowers. So now I am going to start getting my hexagons together. So I'm going to give you a little sneak into my process here. When you want to create clusters of hexagons, the trick is to get the first one straight. So what I'm going to do, you'll see me do this here. I want to have these hexagons kind of fly out from these torn edges. And so the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to use my T-square roller, and I'm going to fidget with this first one for quite a bit until I have it nice and straight. And once I have that first hexagon straight, then I can just go in, because these were all punched with the very same hexagon punch, I can just go in and tuck these in and around and just butt them right up against the one that I know is straight. And then I can continue to create the hexagons. So I love the look of hexagons that start out really clustered together and then kind of fly off into space, as it were, or fly off onto the page so they get a little gappy at the edges. Yeah? Does that make sense? I love that. I think that's the best. I like that hexagon. That is my hexagon technique. Get the first one straight, cluster a bunch in right up against each other, and then let them kind of fall or float or kind of leave their designated area and have them kind of go off the edge of the page. And I think it turns out really cool. Like I said before, I super duper love this layout. I'm so happy that my creativity tanked after I did this one, so I still have this one to look at. I'm so funny. I'm not funny. You guys are probably rolling your eyes at me, but you know, I try. Okay, so now I'm just going ahead and using my tape runner and just letting the hexagons fly away into the sunset. Did I end up with extra hexagons? Yes. I did not punch as many as I probably should have, but no. I punched too many. I need to get my words correct here. I punched too many hexagons, so I had extra hexagons. And that's okay, because I totally saved them all. See all those hexagons? I saved them. They will probably make an appearance on another layout later. In fact, maybe I'll use those and my kit to kind of spark a new layout. I am using old thickers from my stash. These are really old Dear Lizzie thickers. And then I'm going to use these Maggie Holmes gold tile letters. And my title is going to be Photographic Heritage. And the journaling talks about how when my grandmother had given me all of these older photos, she said her father, my great-grandfather, who I remember the tiniest little bit, he was a photographer, but not like it wasn't his job. It was his hobby. And that's kind of the reason why I ended up with all of these beautiful, unique photographs, like this one, which is of a silhouette of my grandmother. But I wanted to document that what she had told me about her father being a photographer and a hobbyist. Like, he liked to take photographs and play with photographs. And I was super happy with this picture in particular. It took a lot to get it blown up. It's a teeny tiny picture. The original is just this teeny tiny picture. And so I took a lot of care in getting it scanned and photographed. I actually think that I ended up photographing it and then pulling it into Photoshop Express and playing with it. If you have a lot of heritage photos and you want to kind of enhance them, fix them up a little bit, I highly recommend an Adobe subscription to Adobe and Photoshop Express. Not the original Photoshop. That gets really like, wow, insane. And I have that too. But the Photoshop Express is just, it has all the stuff that you kind of need without needing to really learn Photoshop. And it gives you photographs like this where you can take these old heritage photos and kind of play with them and enhance them quite a bit. It also helps to have a really good friend. Mine is Christina, who when I can't get something fixed the way I want, I send it to her and go, please see if you can do something with this picture. And she usually can help it in some capacity. All right, so now I'm just adding all the rest of these little butterflies. I'm popping them up, and look how beautiful this layout came together. I love it. I added that little gingham deer off to the side from the puffy thicker sheet from Bloom, just because it was so cute and it worked so well. You know, like, I don't know, I just loved it. It was so cute. It needed to go there. Because of my journaling, I went ahead and added some cameras to my layout. I found these cute, like 3 cute little cameras on the sticker sheet and went, well, this is all about my grandfather's photography. So my great-grandfather's photography. So let's add that in. I think I'm pretty much done. This is going to complete it. The last little bit were just those flowers. And like I said, I just love this layout. I think it might be my favorite layout that I've created this year so far. And I hope that you agree. Thank you so much for joining me today. Make sure to let me know down below if you want me to kind of zoom in a little bit more on my videos as I kind of troubleshoot my new video setup. And I will talk to you all again very soon. I'll talk to you tomorrow with a sketch. Bye, guys.